It's 1967. You're standing on a broad lawn between two lines of brick classrooms that diminish your view. Behind you, a library with white pillars tops a hill, a structure that has few doors. A towering clock casts a shadow downhill from you. Constrained and alone in this space, distant clouds entreat you. There is war in the world, conflict and hostility, public officials who cannot be trusted, people who are denied the right to vote, discrimination rampant in society, the air and water unsafe, soils polluted. There is little peace or progress anywhere. You get the urge for going. You've read Sartre and Camus and Schopenhauer. You've studied Greek with Professor Westerveld, English with Professor Brancaccio, Chapman, Bembo. You've pondered metaphysical questions like, what is the aurora borealis to an angel? But you wonder what good all this book learning is anyway. What else does life offer? You wear your hair straight and long, your skirts short, or long pants with sweatshirts and sandals, no makeup. You shuffle your feet and look down at them a lot. You hope you do not get called on in class because you are just not interested. There is some longing which fills your soul, an impatience with lectures, libraries, and note-taking, a need to go somewhere else, strike out on your own, stake your claim on the world. Elsewhere, the Vietnam War is raging. Elsewhere, people are marching for civil rights, women's rights, voting rights, economic justice. You've got a little early case of FOMO. Joni Mitchell was singing about having the urge for going. I had it too. You pick up your feet and walk across this lawn, pack your bags, and leave this all behind. You escape to San Francisco, summer of love, where you believe there'll be more freedom, fewer double standards, more joy. You go somewhere where there's also no Rummel's ice cream, no Bobbin, no Chez Paris, no Blue Moon down by the tracks where you get a 10-cent beer when you were 17, or the Jefferson where you could wait tables during the day and dance at night. You go to a place where there are few rules, no parietal hours, only the need to earn a living, but where there's also music like Country Joe and the Fish, Janis Joplin, Bob Dylan, writers like Richard Brodigan, Stan Rice, Allen Ginsberg, Lawrence Ferlinghetti, new friends and places, new things to learn. Some guys named Bob Weir and Jerry Garcia are starting a band strangely called The Grateful Dead. You come back east to Boston, work in a psychiatric hospital, take night classes, live in a cold water flat in the North End, a place with cockroaches and a picture of Lyndon Johnson on the back of the toilet. Where's Doris? Learning about life differently through other people's eyes. You go back to school, spend a year at the Sorbonne, where it's cheaper to live than in Boston. You hitchhike through Europe with a backpack full of Flaubert's novels and Garcia Lorca's poetry. You get a degree from UMass Boston, get a job pushing paper in an office, take up with a bad boyfriend, smart, handsome man, charming personality, and a disease called alcoholism. A man who threatens you with a gun. You leave and you don't look back. You realize you cannot change everybody, but you can save yourself. You work as a secretary and a paralegal in a law firm in D.C., and one day you realize, hey, these men you're working for are making a lot more money than you are, and you can do what they're doing and do it as well. So you come back to Maine and go to law school. You are home again, this time for good. You know, years later, when my mother was on her deathbed, I said to her, gosh, Mom, I just want to apologize. I know I haven't been the best daughter. I can't imagine what I put you through. Drinking beer in high school, skipping classes, hanging out in the wrong crowd, dropping out of college, going to San Francisco, spending months without speaking to you or Dad, hitchhiking through Europe by myself, living in a strange city with bad boyfriends, not putting my talents to use, disrespecting my family. I just want to apologize, Mom. My mother looked up and said simply, I don't remember a thing. Whether the result of amnesia or amnesty, I got absolution, and I'll take it. Now, I did not intend this to be a walk down memory lane, a road strewn with bumps and potholes. Nostalgia is a cheap date, and that's not what this is about. Today, you and I are both on this hill, shaded by the old Miller Library with a towering clock and distant clouds that entreat us. You've packed your bags, and in your eyes, I see a righteous and necessary urge for going. Maybe some of you have already wandered in your lives, taken a detour or two, and maybe now you're ready to leave here, armed with more information than I would have dreamed of, more knowledge, a decent understanding of the world and its people and its problems, and hopefully a very decent view of humanity. It astonishes me all that you know, the tools you have, so much more than a bunch of paperbacks in a backpack, and all that you have in your heads. Your Colby, too, is so much more than it was 5 decades ago. No more writing essays on an old Olivetti typewriter with carbon paper. No, sir. And no more parietal hours and strict rules for women. No more fraternities. Your classes have been infused with data analytics, computational science, artificial intelligence. You are aware of climate change, of social justice, of your broad impact on the world. You have flourished in a school with robust financial aid, on a campus with LEED-certified buildings and spaces and 5,300 solar panels, modern co-ed dorms, a huge new Harold Alfon Athletics and Rec Center, a huge innovative Gordon Performing Arts Center, the best museum of art in the state of Maine, with generous gifts from the Lunders, a campus that is now expanded to the downtown of its origins, with the Paul Schupf Arts Center and the Bill and Joan Alfon Main Street Commons. Now, when I left here, I never dreamed I would become a lawyer, or prosecute homicides, run for district attorney, live and work in a traditionally man's world, meet and marry a widower with 5 young daughters, and become a stepmom to them and a full-time professional, run for the legislature, be elected attorney general of my state, fight the healthcare industry as my husband fell ill and died, run for governor, have 5 grandchildren. What were the odds of all of this? Could I ever have imagined that I would be here today on this same hill, feebly attempting to send you off into the world and ready to receive an honorary doctoral degree 57 years after dropping out of this school? But you know something about odds as well. You started college at the height of a worldwide pandemic, not knowing whether or when it might ever come to an end. You have witnessed the injustice, uncertainty, and high anxiety of school shootings, anti-vaxxer protests, the killing of George Floyd, January 6th, inflation, wide economic uncertainty, turnover in the Supreme Court, the overruling of Roe v. Wade, a mass shooting down the road in Lewiston, violence and conflict in Ukraine and in the Middle East. There is anxiety about the future, as there was when I lived in the Mary Lowe dorm. And there are many problems ahead for us both to solve, and I'm so happy that you are ready to take on these problems with the critical thinking, the academic and intellectual resources, the ability to discern, and the urge to create, to tackle the complex problems of today's world. Well, tomorrow you get to listen to Doris Kearns Goodwin. Now, she's going to tell you, I'm sure, about the lives of some important Americans she's known and written about in the last 60 years since she graduated from Colby. 60 years. I suspect she'll tell you about some U.S. presidents, those with humble beginnings and some with privileged upbringings, those who faced crises, obstacles, and success, those who changed the world, those who met detours in their lives, whose lives, too, were not a straight line. Well, in Doris's latest book, she describes Lyndon Johnson talking about his youth, how he graduated from high school and headed west to seek fame and fortune that he knew America offered. But he came back to Johnson City. I came back, Johnson said, because I realized that the place to really begin was the place that I had been all the time. I, too, came back. And eventually it sunk in to me that no matter how far I traveled, no matter how many people I met, what jobs I had, what I learned in other places, whatever things that were in me when I left home, good or bad, were still with me in the years that followed. You couldn't escape who you are, but that, hey, who you are isn't that bad after all. They say the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Well, that may be true in math, in design, maybe in architecture, but not so in life. Your life, like mine, will not be a straight line. There's no direct path to success or happiness. The most beautiful waterways, like our own Kennebec River, are not perfect and straight. The most lovely and abundant parts of the river are the bends and crooks that sometimes surprise us, that make us pause and plan and pace our journey differently. The most beautiful mountains do not rise steep above the earth, but like our own Katahdin, they make us climb, work, and bend around craggy points and labor over long plateaus before we reach the summit. The best vistas, sometimes the most unexpected and hardest earned. But the trajectory of your lives, I believe, the course of your future, wherever you've been before, is firmer, deeper today because what you've experienced, absorbed, learned, and earned here at Colby. You have endless tools to change your life and the lives of those around you. I'm envious. I'm also grateful for my own wanderings and the many detours in my life. But I have figured out, too, that home is within yourself. Your heart can be in many places. And a good mind can travel without ever setting foot on a plane. So I am content with where I am and how I got here. No regrets. I hope you, too, have no regrets when your life changes course. But today, as I stand on this hill I left decades ago, I hear voices from earlier times ringing in my head. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, Stokely Carmichael warned. Not making a difference is a thing we cannot afford, Barbara Jordan roared. And those words will never leave me. There is a Hebrew phrase, tikkun olam, teach me to believe that I can repair some corner of the world. Each of you will make a difference. Each of you can be part of the solution to our most implacable problems. Maybe you'll make this place, this state, your corner of the world. You know, some days the headlines make it easy to dwell on the problems and tragedies of this world, and we wonder and worry about what we can possibly do to stop them, to make the world better. These problems make it all more important to take that education and fine-tune your ability to consider carefully what you see and hear, to think twice before leaping into easy solutions and opinions, to react with care and compassion to the plight of others. It's also important to know the difference between spin and information, between promise and commitment, between infatuation and love, between price and value, between charm and character, between anxiety and fear, between popularity and integrity, between bravado and courage, between a difference of opinion versus a difference in philosophy. I know some of you will be continuing your education elsewhere, and many are pursuing jobs and studies in other states, and maybe you will be the first and only person to do something. Don't be afraid of that. Think outside of the box. Hell, get rid of the box. Wherever you go, however winding your path, I hope your future concludes our state. Whether you are from here, from another state, from another country, whether you intend to leave and come back or not leave at all, there is a world of opportunity right here in Maine for you. Wherever you roam, if roam you will, upon your return, as upon your first arrival, and even if you never leave, we will greet you with a hearty hug and a loud welcome home. Now, a baccalaureate speech I have read is supposed to have a spiritual emphasis. So I will leave you with a poem of Mary Oliver's called weirdly, Hell and Earth. She wrote, I know you never intended to be in this world, but you're in it all the same, so why not get started immediately? I mean, belonging to it. There's so much to admire, to weep over, and to write music or poems about. Bless the feet that take you to and fro. Bless the eyes and the listening ears. Bless the tongue, the marvel of taste. Bless touching. You could live 100 years, it's happened, or not. I am speaking from the fortunate platform of many years, none of which I think I ever wasted. Do you need a prod? Do you need a little darkness to get you going? Let me be as urgent as a knife then and remind you of Keats, so single of purpose and thinking for a while, he had a lifetime. That's Mary Oliver's way of saying, get the urge for going and go. And in the tradition of baccalaureate addresses, I say, Amen. But please don't wait to tell your mother you're sorry. Serve up gratitude early and often. Repair your corner of the world. Tikkun olam. Thank you, and my very best to the Colby College class of 2024.